And then they signed the paper, and what they didn't realize what they were signing was a 40-year listing agreement with that broker out of Florida. And that clearly deceptive trade. I mean, and I've talked about this before, Patrick, and I've talked about it with you off air. I was like, these people are just absolute scumbags. They're terrible people.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
Patrick, I want to talk to you about an article that I read just recently. We've been following this story for quite a while now, maybe about a year and a half, 2 years we've been following this thing. And you've been following it. I know you've been researching, you've been doing a lot of work on it. And the headline of this one is Nevada reaches settlement with Florida company that deceived 700 homeowners, written by you, Patrick Blenner has it, earlier this month. And in it, you talk about the fact that the Attorney General's office finally reached a settlement with this company for deceptive trade practices. We were talking about what they did was, and correct me if I'm wrong, what they did was they would knock on people's doors basically and say, hey, listen, we'll pay you.
With a local realtor in tow.
With a local realtor in tow.
Yes.
We won't say the name of that realtor, although
no.
I might want to at some point. But
there's a bunch of them, actually.
Is there?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Handful, yeah.
That's a damn shame. Anyway, so they would knock on the door and say, hey, we're going to give you some money to just do an evaluation of your home. We want to do a valuation of home. Here's a check for, I don't know, $500 or $1,000.
Couple thousand.
$1,000. And here, just sign this paper. And then they signed the paper, and what they didn't realize what they were signing was a 40-year listing agreement with that broker out of Florida. And that clearly deceptive trade. I mean, and I've talked about this before, Patrick, and I've talked about it with you off air. I was like, these people are just absolute scumbags. They're terrible people. Yeah. And the fact that realtors were going along with this just angers me to no end. But I'm also concerned about the fact that people were so gullible to think that they would get a check for somebody to evaluate your home. I mean, it just seems silly to me.
Well, that's the other thing is they were targeting a lot of senior citizens.
The vulnerable population.
Vulnerable population, right? Yeah. If you go to a regular person, I mean, like, get off my property, right?
Yeah.
But the thing was really interesting because it was like last year I had this lady reach out to me, and she's a widow, and she owns her home, and I think she's paid off the mortgage and everything, and she wanted to start a small business, and she went into the bank, and the bank was like, you have a lien on your house.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? Mm-hmm. And so she found this contract that she signed like in 2022 or 2021. And so she reached, and she was like, okay, well, obviously something went wrong here. She reaches out to the company, which is based out of Florida. And of course, they basically tell her, you need to pay us $30,000 to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
And like, they have legal backing because she signed that contract, right? And so she calls me up, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is a crazy story. Do you have the documents to back it up? And that's usually when I never hear back from people.
Right.
But like the next day, she sent me all the documents.
Wow, good for her.
All the correspondence with the company. And right then, I'm like, all right, we can do this story.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So she, I think her name's Terry Wilson.
Okay.
She definitely championed it, and she was willing to sort of go out, because there's an element of shame with this too.
Of course.
Because you feel like you got duped.
Yeah.
A local realtor comes, and you sign a contract, you think everything's cool, you get a little bit of money, and then a couple years later. But she was very willing to get out into the public and share her story and say, yeah, I got duped. I don't want other people to get duped. And once we got her, and then some local politicians were working on it as well, we realized this is massive.
Yeah.
It was like 700 people.
Oh, man.
And the state legislature, some of the assembly members had been working on this for years.
Okay.
And this company is based out of Florida. And they're equipped to basically get sued and handle this stuff all the time.
Right.
Other states had sort of reached settlement agreements, and the lawmakers weren't getting anywhere. And I said, well, I'll do an article. And then as soon as I did the article, Nevada Consumer Affairs Bureau gets involved, and then the Attorney General comes in with a hammer, and now all these people are out of these contracts. So.
Yep. Hey, listen, as you're listening to this, we owe Patrick a debt of gratitude for bringing this to light and letting the AG pick it up, because otherwise it's probably still out there. There's no doubt. I mean, it's still out there, and a lot of people, this woman couldn't do what she wants to do. You're stuck.
A lot of the people had no idea that they had liens on their houses.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing. They found hundreds of people who basically, if they were going to sell, they wouldn't be able to.
Right.
Which is even the scarier thing, is the people out there not even knowing that there's a lien on their house with a Florida company that's, basically a criminal organization.
Yep.
Wait, were they the only ones operating and doing this, or
there's other companies not as big, but these guys were all over the country, and a bunch of states got together with a multi-state sort of campaign and already clamped down on it. So I was able to kind of use that as like some background for it. But they had tried here. It was a local Republican assemblywoman. She's a former Berkshire Hathaway. Her name is escaping me right now.
Haiti Kasama.
Haiti Kasama was all over this.
Yep. She's in her office. She's right down the hall.
She's the original one who sort of brought it up. But for some reason, it wasn't getting anywhere. It wasn't getting in the Attorney General's office. But then it gets in the Review Journal, and then all of a sudden, everybody's interested in it, right?
Yep.
So
well, I want to offer my personal thanks to you for bringing this to light, because that's the kind of bad actors in our industry that just make us look bad. And the fact that realtors were tagging along kind of really pisses me off. I'd like to know who those people were.
I would say it's clear that there's just a few bad apple realtors. This is not like these guys were known shady realtors to begin with.
Okay.
So I wouldn't coat all realtors with this at all. I'd say,
Good. I mean, but they should be held to account for that. And
100%.
They should be absolutely be held to account for that, because I sat on our grievance committee, which handles things such as that, and now I sit on professional standards. If they were brought before professional standards, they would be basically thrown out.
Yeah.
They would not be realtors any longer based on that.
Is the state going to explore that, or LVR theoretically explore that? Because if you want to think about rebuilding the good name, it may have been tarnished. That's a good way. I'm going to talk
to my people at LVR about this, because I do sit on professional standards, and I don't know if there's something we can do independent. If someone has to bring us a follow-up complaint. If someone's willing to do that, we can do it. Maybe I can. I don't know. Maybe I can do it myself. I'll have to see.
I have some names for you.
Okay, we're gonna follow this up. We're not gonna let this go, because I really do believe it's imperative for us to police our own. I mean, I think that's what we're here. That's what we're here for. Realtors should not just be people out there making money selling real estate. We're held to a higher standard. We have a code of ethics. These people clearly did not understand that, and they need to be held to account for it. So I'm anxious, and maybe after the program we'll talk about a list of names and go after that. But again, so they were held to account. They had to pay some restitution.
Yeah.
They had to release people from those contracts too, right?
Everybody got released, Even the people that didn't even know that they were in contracts, they got released. And I believe, so there was a few people who ended up having to pay because they had to move right away.
Right.
So they had to pay to get this lien off their house. They're also getting their money back.
They're getting reimbursed. Oh, good. Yeah. Good. Well, speaking of the lien on the house, there is the one thing about Clark County that's really terrific is you can sign up for a service that will let you know every time there's a lien applied to your house.
Yeah.
You can have your APN number for your property and your individually for your name. You'll register with this service. We have a link on our website at lvrealestateradio.com. You can go there. You can sign up for it, and they'll update you anytime there's anything applied to your property or yourself as an individual. So just register for that, and you'll be informed. There's other services. I know you can pay for services that'll watch things for you, title watch or whatever. But this is free, and Clark County offers it to everybody. So I think it's a tremendous service. But yeah, when I first saw this article and I said, wow, they did it. And it's thanks to Patrick for his pursuit of this. As we deal with bad actors in our market, I want to talk about some good actors. I want to talk about some people who are doing the right thing. And that's these two guys right here. They're helping us out. They're helping us figure things out. I mean, they help us to understand what's going on.